History is replete with lessons of how societies and civilizations have fallen, how they have risen again, and how the complete collapse of certain societies has been avoided by the unification of a people to assert their rights and power against their oppressors. But societies and civilizations continue to collapse and allow themselves to be oppressed over and over, as if we collectively never seem to learn these lessons from history and allow it to keep repeating. Many people are talking about a great awakening and a shift to a new dimension of higher consciousness, but most of what I see is people operating under another form of hopium, like so many other false beliefs in the savior mentality, which has crippled society over and over through the ages. This idea that things will just somehow work themselves out is the epitome of naivete. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we are the only ones who can and will build this new model. But it will require work and massive effort on the part of tens of millions to bring this new reality to fruition. We must begin to start the conversation about breaking free of this cycle and do it now. In every successful peaceful revolution in history, the people have united en masse, stood up, and simply said, no more. And once a critical mass was achieved, the enforcement class has always sided with the people in solidarity against the ruling class, as happened in both East Berlin and Romania in 1989. This is the blueprint for a peaceful and nonviolent movement to not only reclaim our power, but to ensure once and for all that any predator or oppressor class can never take over anywhere ever again. So, how do we get to that point? How do we achieve critical mass and tip the scales in our favor in a peaceful and nonviolent manner? Those are two questions that have driven me for years in creating a solution that is not temporary and localized, but one that is permanent and can eventually be implemented in every nation worldwide. Everything I've thought of and put into the Freedom Project 2020 and my proposed Natural Law Republic as the macro solution to our macro problem has been to ensure as painless and seamless a transition to a new system which guarantees sovereignty for all individuals and real protection against oppression from any source. To begin, we need to create the vision of a better social order. Without a vision and final destination, nothing ever gets accomplished in life. All goals begin with setting a target. Second, we need to understand how we will achieve that goal. We have to figure out how to navigate to the end point of our journey and what will be required to achieve these ends. And finally, we need to have a clearly shared understanding of what reality would look like once we arrive at this destination and how this new reality would be structured. Over the past 18 months, I have created 3 video series, 2 of which have yet to be completed because I've lost motivation caused by depression due to severe lack of public interest and feedback. But these 3 video series define all of what I have illustrated as necessary for achieving an overwhelmingly positive and transformative change in human civilization, and a future of abundance in which every individual should be able to thrive and reach their full potential in life. The Vision or Destination series is called Manifesting a New Reality. The Roadmap or Navigation series is called The Path to Freedom. And the Structure of a New Social Order series is called Creating a Natural Law Republic. So, to begin creating the necessary critical mass to change our world and avoid our planned dystopian future, people need to watch these video series to understand all 3 parts of this plan. I will continue to create supplementary content and will soon be starting my own podcast as we move forward. But these 3 foundational series are vital for understanding not only how we can accomplish this goal and create the perception that it's not only possible, but that we are powerful beyond our current beliefs once we realize that we outnumber the enemy by nearly 1,000,000 to 1. Once you have watched all 3 series, You need to share them with as many already enlightened people that you know, as well as those who you think might be receptive to listening to actual solutions to a world descending into chaos more and more every day. This is how we build the critical mass, because it is only achieved by people coming together and uniting under a single common idea. Too many disparate ideas, goals, or plans will never allow us to achieve the necessary critical mass and force large and powerful enough to defeat the enemy. But the feedback from everyone who has gotten through all of my work and read my proposed documentation is overwhelmingly that it is a viable and workable solution. Everyone should want to get around because of the power it bestows on every individual and the protections against tyranny built into the structure. Also, there's absolutely no one out there offering anything close to a solution like this that moves us outside of the false political paradigm, which only keeps us trapped and desperately needs to be abolished. The only reason someone would object to what I have proposed would be if they are narcissistic, a control freak, or socio or psychopathic, and have a need and desire to control and or impose their will on others. For everyone else, it is a social order that is based on individual freedom, which is essentially what everyone says they want, and that is simply to be left alone to live their lives in peace. That is what the Natural Law Republic offers, while having built-in mechanisms to keep power seekers neutralized. What needs to happen as we begin to build the required numbers is we also need to build the structure necessary to handle the transition of tens of millions to a new system without any major issues or disruptions in anyone's lives. That will take money, and it will take the effort of a large team of dedicated people with the expertise to do what is absolutely crucial to create this new infrastructure. I will be getting into more details of this aspect of the plan in coming videos. Suffice to say, this is something that cannot be done alone. But individually, we all have a part to play in learning about the nature of our current reality, how the legacy systems were built to enslave and never set us free, and what we need to do to emancipate ourselves from these systems. Much of this vital information is available for everyone on the Freedom Project 2020 website, and everything I have created is accessible for free and will remain that way. If you're not willing to do that, you are essentially admitting that you are comfortable remaining as part of the problem. It's really just black and white. You are either part of the problem or you are part of the solution. There is no gray area in what is at stake here. We will either have a future of complete freedom for all, or we will all be enslaved by the technocracy that has been in the process of building and implementation for over a century now. The choice is ours to make, and freedom should be everyone's goal who has any heart, empathy, or desire to not be oppressed or coerced ever again, especially after the 2 years we've just been through. Once we have achieved critical mass, as I have stated earlier, the enforcement class will move to our side and work to protect the newly formed republic because we have an infinitely better offer for them. Once this has been achieved, it is checkmate for the New World Order, as they will have no way to impose their will upon anyone or any nation at this point. By this time, all everyone would need to do is to sign 3 documents, which I will be covering in the next video. Transfer our wealth, dollar for dollar, to a new, honest, debt-free currency and monetary system, disengage and simply walk away from the legacy system, then continue on with our lives without fear of oppression or one psychological operation after another manipulating society any longer. The proposed Public Service Administration will already be staffed by those whom have proven themselves to be of the highest moral character, ethically sound of mind, and critical thinkers, unlike virtually everyone in government today, who are nothing more than self-serving narcissists with very low intellectual capacity or empathy. This is how we ensure that rogue elements of society cannot infiltrate the new system and hijack it for evil or selfish means. So it's really as simple as that, and it shouldn't be any more complicated than that either. It is a system based on 4 moral maxims of natural law, a system of tangible, legitimate, and enforceable social contracts that basically state that everyone agrees to be a decent human being, to take personal responsibility for their actions, and not trespass against others, along with a structure that humanely deals with those who can't seem to get along in society for one reason or another. Its power is in its simplicity, and as Leonardo da Vinci wrote approximately 500 years ago, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. We don't need a complex and confusing solution to an overly complex and already confusing world. Nor do we need tens of thousands of pages of legal code to define what we may or may not do from a ruling class of proven failures as human beings. The solutions are simple, and the world should not be overly complicated as it's become by design to disempower and deceive us into relegating our rights and responsibilities to others of perceived but illegitimate authority. That is the pure essence of my proposed natural law republic. It is simplicity perfected, and it all aligns and operates within the confines of natural law. So everyone should not only be able to grasp and understand their role in upholding the simple concepts that create this balanced and harmonious model, but also the incredible amount of protection it provides for a world of peace our so-called leaders have failed over and over to deliver, despite generations of empty rhetoric and blatant lies that they would do so. The future is ours to create and build in the image we want, but it is up to each and every one of us to ensure that it happens. However, the first thing we all must do is to change our minds and our perceptions about the obstacles which are currently hindering our progress. That is the purpose of all my work. We must stop focusing on the problems of the old paradigm, dead legacy systems, and the nightmarish dystopia they are propagandizing the masses as the ultimate solution to an orderly society, and focus all of our discretionary energy towards learning, sharing, and building this world of complete freedom and abundance we will all be proud to say we created and can happily pass on to future generations. Thank you again for listening. I love you all. And stay tuned for part 3 coming up tomorrow.